Senator Cook, for what purpose?
To speak in opposition to the bill.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we all agree that our natural environment and wildlife are precious. The health of our wildlife and ecosystems are intrinsically linked to public health, which is another reason why we must protect and care for our land, skies, and the biodiversity that makes Texas special through evidence-based solutions. I support and cherish all of creation and this principle. Concerns about migratory birds and their habitats deserve our serious attention as we consider how best to preserve Texas's natural heritage for future generations. My concern today is that while we are focused on adding regulations on an otherwise environmentally friendly industry, we leave other energy industries with significant negative environmental impacts almost untouched. This bill is nearsighted and overlooks what is most harmful to our environment, an over-reliance on fossil fuels. I would like to share a few examples from those industries and invite us to consider where we might focus our attention. The BP Deepwater Horizon catastrophe in 2010 spilled 205.8 million gallons of oil and 225,000 tons of methane into the Gulf of Mexico. Only about 25% of the oil was recovered, leaving more than 154 million gallons of oil at sea. In addition to the oil, nearly 2 million gallons of toxic dispersions were sprayed into the Gulf's waters. It was later found that the spill likely harmed or killed about 82,000 birds of 102 species, about 6,100 sea turtles, as many as 26,000 marine mammals, and a vast but unknown number of fish, from the great bluefin tuna to our nation's smallest seahorse, plus oysters, crabs, corals, and other creatures. The 2014 Galveston Bay oil spill impacted over 160 miles of the Texas coastline, harming vital shorebird habitats and oyster beds. As of 2024, climate change threatens over 14,000 species on the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List of Threatened Species, and projections suggest that if global temperatures increase by 2 degrees Celsius by 2100, about 18% of all species on land will face a high risk of going extinct. More sensitive animals will fare even worse, with over 30% of insect pollinators and salamanders facing high risks in this projection. Fossil fuel industry also gives us microplastics, and it has been such an honor to work on and vote for legislation that prioritizes preventive care, health, eating right, and taking care of our bodies. And yet, microplastics are found in every single cell in each one of our bodies. Microplastics with a diameter of less than 150 micrometers can enter the lymph and bloodstream systems, induce cellular toxicity, and damage our very DNA. Y'all know that I'm a public health nurse and an emergency room nurse, and I live in Houston, which is one of the most polluted cities in the United States, and I see it in my practice. I watch people die from things like pulmonary hypertension, stroke, cardiac disease, people struggling with the entire last half of their lives to breathe freely because of the pollutants that we dump from the fossil fuel industry into our air, water, and soil. Texas currently generates nearly 30% of its power from wind energy, which makes us a national leader. HB 3556 would jeopardize that leadership and debilitate one of our most powerful tools in combating climate change, the most prescient threat that is already devastating wildlife habitats and disrupting migration patterns across our state. This bill creates barriers for clean energy development in certain coastal counties, despite these regions having some of the country's strongest wind resources. This is all part of a troubling trend that I've seen this session, with bills aimed at slowing down wind and solar growth. Instead of supporting a clean industry that also brings jobs, long-term environmental benefits, and billions in economic growth, these measures make building the infrastructure that we so desperately need much more difficult. To protect wildlife, to preserve our natural environment, we must accelerate a just transition to renewable energy, not obstruct it. If not, we should be focusing this regulatory energy on the energy industries that truly harm the environment. Clean energy reduces pollution, protects water resources, and helps preserve the landscapes that we all value. I urge you to vote no on this bill. Thank you so much.